All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the Epic Playstand that I made, and I'm going to try to go over as quickly as possible how I made it. So the base, the foundation down here, is made of 2x4s and 1x4s. The 1x4s are also known as bed slats. So you basically make a frame from your 2x4s and add the bed slats vertically, not horizontally. It's a stronger if you'll do it that way. So if you have just a tiny bit of carpentry skills, you can build this, and it cost me about $120. So I make my frame and I add my bed slats down there so that I have my foundation, my shelf, and from there we add our 2x4s. And I used the triangle method. If you're in woodworking, you know what that is. All of these screws were 2-inch, but I used my brad nailer on other areas like the bed slats. So once you do the bottom of the frame and you add your 2x4s as legs, the second part I do separately. The second part is the stand itself, the foundation for the stand itself. It was a 2-foot by 4-foot project panel that was pre-sanded, which is more expensive but less work. So here we go again with the bed slats. I added the bed slats as a lip to hold everything in. And again, brad nailed, but you don't have to brad nail it. You can use screws. And for anybody who has a brad nailer, I used 1-inch brad nails on the bottom and on the lip for the stand. Once this is assembled, we take the whole thing and we set it down on the 2x4s, on the legs. Each corner, I don't know if I can show you, each corner has there they are, 2 screws, 2-inch screws that bolt the leg into the stand. I used 3 different sizes of dowels for this. The most interesting part, and I think the most creative part of this stand, are these panels, cage panels. I breed cockatiels, and these are actually breeding cage dividers. And so the whole stand was kind of dimensionally built around these dividers. Because what I have seen in the past is I have a lot of trouble hanging food and water cups. You can see I've got these help with, I can put treat clips, mineral blocks, food and water. That's actually a guinea pig hay trough, and it's full of oat sprays. That's what that's full of, and the birds love oat sprays, and it's a great foraging toy. But the treat clips, I usually put vegetables. The birds are not out yet, and they're kind of fussy. Right now, they're ready to get out. I used kebabs. This was another thing that I found very different. The kebabs, rather than hang vertically here, I drilled holes in my dowels and hung them horizontally. Because what I find with kebabs, even in the cage, half the kebab is above the perch and half the kebab is below the perch. And sometimes they can reach all of it and sometimes they can't. But with this method, they can reach the entire toy. And then, as you can see, just added some goodies there, some wood blocks and paper straws and things like that. And there's one on each side. You can see there's one on the other side. The other thing that I put in was this tree right here. this tree. The tree serves multiple purposes. One thing is they climb up it. So if you have, especially conures, I have noticed cockatiels and conures don't really fly a whole lot when they're on a stand. They would rather climb. And this gives them a way to get from point A to point B is through this tree. And they use it a lot. Even my flighted birds use this thing. And they will climb from top to bottom or bottom to top. The other purpose that it serves, if you have parakeets, if you have budgies, often you will have an obnoxious budgie. And the obnoxious budgie, chases the other budgies around. If they get on one of these little wooden dowels here, as long as they're not too long, keep them short like this, the other parakeets will not land on this with them. So it gives them a safe space to get away from that little obnoxious parakeet that's always chasing them. Or, the conure that chases the cockatiel. Or, you guys know what I'm talking about. So that serves a couple of purposes. And it's great for birds that are not flighted. Maybe they have clipped wings. And it's really easy for them to climb up and down on this. Quickly on these panels, yes, I got the panels. I already had the panels. But if you could probably buy a cheap, I don't know, $20, what they call canary cage. You guys know what I'm talking about, the really small cages that are not suitable for birds. You could probably buy one of those for about 20, 25 bucks and dismantle it and use it. And I just zip tied it. It is zip tied to the dowels. So last thing, and probably the greatest thing, is the fountain. The parakeet loves the fountain so much that I have had to unplug it. I have to turn it off so that he'll get out of the water. I am not going to go into detail on the fountain. That would be a separate video. It actually took me hours to put this thing together, and I learned a lot. But basically, if you're going to make one of these, it's just a bucket with a pump and these attachments. These attachments, it's not going to look like this unless you have the attachments. And that's where I made a mistake. I bought the attachments separate from the pump, and the two sizes did not fit together. And so I had to do some modifying to get this fountain to work. I got the rocks out of my front yard. We have a little rock garden out there. And I got the rocks out of my front yard, and I boiled them for about 15, 20 minutes to make sure there's no fungus or, bacteria or anything bad. And that's pretty much it. And you can do this, I'm telling you, you can do this with a circular saw. Oh yeah, we also put the swing here. And plenty of room for other toys. So with the swing, we have this massive space right here for other toys. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put there yet. The whole thing, including the fountain, was about $120. And you can do this with a circular saw, a drill, and some Forstner bits. So if you're inspired, I hope you are. Like I said, really basic carpentry skills. And you can have this really, really amazing playstand. And the interior space is 2 foot by 4 foot. So it is big. It is very big. And will probably accommodate anywhere from 6 to 8 cockatiels. So you can imagine how many budgies you could get. You could get multiple conures on here. And you'll buy the dowels according to what type of bird you have. So these dowels, like I said, three different sizes. or more for budgies and cockatiels. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment, ask a question, and you can do this yourself for about $120. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.